All right. Good morning. Good morning. Welcome back to the Green Logbook, also streaming on the Military Retirement Podcast as well. Right in the middle of doing some edits to some videos coming up. I'll be putting out a few videos here in a few on some guests that I've had on the show. So glad to be able to connect. And while I put these videos out, while I'm editing these videos, I thought maybe I'd jump on and talk a little bit about what's going on in the veteran world, talk a little bit about VR&E, which seems to be, at least when I put out the shorts, seems to be a hot topic with people getting a hold of me. Got a got an email or two about it. Got a phone call about VR&E, trying to get their foot in the door on that. It seems like some vets out there need some assistance with the education piece on that and getting past the counselor and essentially justifying the VR&E process, right? Why they rate a bachelor's degree or a master's degree or whatever. And it sucks that we have to convince people that we want this, that we need this, right? But if you all need assistance, that's what I'm here for, to help. I've gone through the process. I'm going to start March 1st. And if anybody needs assistance on VR&E, let me know. Who we got in here? Who we got in the chat here? Let me see here. Yeah, so I'm trying out something new. I tried there's this whole vertical thing right here, and then I got the regular landscape video, trying that out. So I got to remain kind of in the middle to make sure that I'm in frame on these things. So I had to switch the camera around. So we're trying this out. So yeah, here for your questions on VR&E stuff. Here for your questions on what else did I have on there? Veterans on YouTube, which seems to be a big thing. Had a few folks reach out to me about starting a YouTube channel. And I firmly believe, like I mentioned before in previous live streams, that veterans are the perfect people to share their story on YouTube or even podcasts. There's a ton of vets out there that are doing this stuff. And why not you? Why not you? So Navy Cop, welcome to the Green Logbook again. Good to have you on here. The unsung veteran, welcome. What's going on? Navy Cop says, I love the small business assistants, but they are so adverse to providing anything that it's frustrating. Yeah, they are. Yeah, they are. It's kind of a pain, I know. But again, it's how a lot of it, at least for the education piece, a lot of it is how you word your justification for the VR&E to get past that counselor. And how do you word that? You can't just raise your hand and say, hey, I want to get a bachelor's degree or master's degree using VR&E. You got to be able to back that up a little bit with why you need that, why you want that, how it hinders, how it kind of it limits you based on your service-connected stuff. And I hate the word disabilities, but yeah, your service-connected stuff, right? Disabilities, I suppose. So you have to be able to justify all that. And I mean, I can go through the video if y'all want as well. But then you have to show about 10. I know my counselor asked me for 10 job listings related to what I'm trying to get into. And it was not hard to find. I mean, it was a lot of the psychology based stuff. It wasn't that hard to find, and it doesn't matter where it is, right? I mean, I picked up job searches from around the country, really. Just in case I wanted to move, right? I picked up some stuff from Virginia, California, there's Arizona, things like that. And I showed them, hey, look, there is a need for this. And based on BLS.gov, it is set to grow a certain percentage over the next 5 years. So that's what they want to see, right? That you're not going into some kind of dead end degree path, that you're not going into some kind of just random degree that doesn't pertain to anything. They want to know that you're actually going to be using this thing. Unsung Veteran says, I tried to use VR&E to get my master's degree and they denied it because I already had a bachelor's. Dude, I have a bachelor's as well. And they, through the whole justification piece, I was able to get in with the master's. So the trick is, not really trick, but you have to show them that whatever you're doing in your current position maybe you're doing something that, with what you got your bachelor's in, maybe that limits your or hinders your disabilities or activates your disabilities or something. And you can no longer work in that position. You no longer want to work in that position. That position kind of gives you affects your mental health, things like that. And if it does, that is part of your justification. I can't do this job anymore because this and this and that. I have to move over to a job that I really want to do, that interests me. And the only way I can do that is if I get a higher degree, a master's degree to do this job. So, like for instance, I'll give you an example. I really want to get into the psychology world. I don't have a psychology degree. I've got I did a double minor in business and psychology as part of my bachelor's, and a minor in psychology is not going to get me there. So I'm like, hey, look, if I want to get anywhere in the psychology world, I need to get a bat or a master's and potentially go the doctorate route if I want to go straight up be a psychologist, right? So with that, they pushed me along, pushed my stuff through, and they approved it. Same thing, but I know folks who are, getting their law degree with VR&E. That they're working towards that because they want to be a lawyer. That's what they want to do. Let me see. I have a bachelor's in IT management. My current position is curriculum development and instruction. I try to justify based on not being able to be in on my feet for long hours. I explained that. Let's go to your next one here. It would be more beneficial if I had a master's in IT project management. By starting out with just a bachelor's, they didn't buy it. I also still have my jab bill, so that didn't help. Yeah, man, I'd like to look at your. I mean, if you don't mind, I'd like to look at your stuff a little bit more. Send me an email, man. thegreenlogbook@gmail.com. Um, I I think it's some BS. I honestly do that other people get denied, and I think a lot of it is counselor dependent. That they have the power to deny you if they don't like what you say. I I don't like it. Um, I also still have my GI Bill. I have never touched my GI Bill. I spread it across my kids, right? So I have three kids, and I have each one of them have a month just so I can keep it alive. Um, I have not touched my GI Bill, and they approved me for all this stuff. So if I can get it, you can get it too. Shoot me an email, man. I'll see what we can do. Give me a second here, real quick. I'll be right back. All right. Here we go. Here we go. All right. So H Town Vet Northside, welcome, man. I got to catch one of your live streams again, dude. I, um, I don't know if I'm on the hours. I'm on YouTube, the hours that you go on too much. I will say that I tried a live stream in the evening, and that was excellent. I got a lot of good commentary and feedback from that. So I think I might transition over to the evening side as well. So I just need to get a consistent live stream going. It's great to connect with veterans, and I got my freaking brew over here, my coffee. So curious what you all are drinking yourselves. It's morning where I am still, so I know across the nation it might be the afternoon. Let's see. He says 6 p.m. Central Time, Sundays and Thursdays, but I do come on randomly also. Yeah, I tried the random thing, and it's hit or miss. I want to be able to connect with as many veterans as possible, but we'll see. We'll see. I don't know. I do have. I had to take a break, man. I had a whole lot of interviews that I did here in the last couple of, well, really in the last 2 weeks, went outside of my comfort zone, really. And then, hold on a second, let me close this window. These birds are right outside my window. Went out and actually did in-person interviews with some folks. Had to bring along my microphones, all these cool little mics that I bought. And instead of sitting here in a studio doing this, I went out and actually sat down with some folks. And it was great. It was great. But that also means that I have a whole lot of editing to do. So after tomorrow, it'll be 4 videos I need to get edited and up on the channel. But a lot of great information, a lot of great folks that are just knowledgeable and great veterans. One of them is still active duty, and just good stuff, man. It's great to connect with vets, man. It's great to connect with the community. The drum god of all. Am I reading that right? The drum god of all. Welcome. Good morning. Yeah, I agree. H-Town Vet North Side. Live streams are essential. It is a way also that it makes it feel real, right? The connection, it makes the connection feel real. And it's good to have like these I don't know, for lack of a better word, real conversations with the community. Let's see here. Let me go back up here. Navy cop. I couldn't stay relevant in cyber due to issues from my disabilities. I still need a job to pay bills. I was denied because I had finally found a job, wasn't willing to even work with me. Man, dude, I'm, the amount of different stories that I hear from VR&E counselors about VR&E counselors gives me the impression that there's no standardized way of moving forward. Yes, there is Chapter 31, right? There is the veteran readiness and employment with rules and all that stuff. Let me see if I can pull it up here. Title 38, USC Chapter 31. However, it's almost like a free for all. Like if your counselor doesn't want to really do anything, or if they're like, yeah, this guy's already he's already got a bachelor's, or this lady's already got a bachelor's, we're not going to do anything for them. I mean, they just go with what they want. There's no real standard that I'm seeing out there. It's crazy. Let me see. H-Town vet. Your question was, did you bring your own lighting for the interview? What do you mean? Which interview? The VR&E interview? Let's see. Navy Cop says, just linked up with the American Veterans Center online, and they gave me the blessing to link my site to their YouTube videos for veteran stories dating back to World War II. Wow, some good videos. Excellent, dude. That's great. And this is going to be on, I assume, buddycheckproject.org. Shout out to you. Here, let me put this up on the channel here. So a big part of these live streams is to have a way to connect with the veteran community, share some coffee, talk some trash if you want, just kind of keeping it non-political, just talk about issues within the veteran community. I'm pretty well versed on like VR&E, pretty well versed on veteran benefits and things like that. I had to kind of force myself because I had to find a lot of this crap out as I was going through the whole TAPS process, the TRS process. So here, I'm going to share this on the live stream. If anybody wants to jump on the live stream, as I normally do, I'll share the link and then you can jump on the live stream and talk about what you have going on if you'd like. The live stream. Bam, sis. Here we go. There we are. Let me see. Unsung veteran. I basically screwed it up because I explained that I was looking for a position that paid similar to my current role, and that required a master's degree. With my bachelor's, I was expecting much less. Yeah, it really is. It really is who you get, man, due to the positions I was applying for. Yeah. So I'll tell you the position that I was while I was working while I applied for VR&E, I was working in a position that was not what I really wanted to do, and there was a whole lot going on and, a lot of stressful situations, right? So, I explained that to my counselor. I'm like, "Look, I don't know how long I'm gonna last here, but I'm not liking it." Um, I can already see it kinda not working out for me, right? For again, for lack of a better term. So, uh, I'd like to be in this kind of job category, or I'd like to be doing this. And I need a degree to be able to do this, or else I can't even step into the field. Can you assist me? And I mean, he was very thorough and explained how it worked. So that's how I went forward with it. Let me see here. Smegma da smoothie. You look like a tank, my man. Okay, like a yeah. Thank you. I think. Um, H Town Vet North Side. If you have filed for unemployability, that's based on your inability to work. So if you have a job while filling for that type, filing for that type of 100% status, almost in every case you will be denied. Yeah, I can see that. Carlton P2Q. Hi. Well, hi back. Welcome. Jason Mack McCullough. Welcome. Welcome. Oh, okay. H Town Vet North Side. The interviews that you did while you were on the road. Okay. So I did one interview while I was on the road in person so far, and I have another one coming up soon. I did bring my lighting gear, similar to like I have the lights here, right? The windows here, lighting is here, so it looks like there's a window in front of me. Uh, so I did, and I have a softbox as well. It's back there somewhere, which looks like kind of like an umbrella with a light and all that. So I did bring that stuff with me, and I just didn't need it because the interview room that we did it in, it was very well lit. We were in front of a window. It was near the beach anyway, so it was like a beautiful area. Uh, so yeah, I didn't even need the lighting, man. I did need the microphones as well, of course. And cool thing, I don't know, H Town, but if you're going to be doing some live stream stuff here, let me show you this. I got a couple of these faux mics. You might want to check these out, right? Mics. Take this thing off. You put your little DJI mic on there, and you can go up to people and ask them questions and stuff like that. Look legit. Comes with this little thing here. Bam. Try that out. Let me see here. Oh, we got somebody here. Let's bring them up to the stage. Christopher, how we doing, man? I think you might be on mute. Maybe not. I don't know. All right. Well, come back when you can, man. Happy to have you on here. But yeah, I got the link to the live stream on there. If you want to jump on here, please feel free. Just a place for vets to kind of come together, talk a little bit about what they got going on, talking a little bit about VR&E education, how to get your foot in the door with VR&E, right? Talking a little bit about Chapter 31, training and rehab, questions about Chapter 35. I've been fielding a lot of those questions lately. I get a few emails here and there, and people have my phone number too. And sometimes I get a call from friends. Hey, I just retired, or I just got this disability rating. What can you tell me about Chapter 35? Well, I'm glad you mentioned that, my friend. Just real quick question out there to anybody listening like this. And is anybody here using Chapter 35 or plan to use Chapter 35? That being the stipend that they give you for your dependents to attend school. I think the stipend right now is at like 1,500 or 1,050, something like that. Let me see here. Let me close these things out here real quick. Yeah, so I learned something about Chapter 35 a while back that I made a video about that a lot of people didn't know. And people were hating on the video title. Uh, and let me tell you why. So the video title was Chapter 35 Reduces VA Disability Pay. And the thumbnail says Chapter 35 can lower VA disability. And people were hating on it like, how dare you? It doesn't lower it. Stop lying. Well, yes, it does. Yes, it does. If you listen to my explanation, it does. Because when you use Chapter 35, when you sign up your dependent for Chapter 35, it could be somebody who's 18 years old and they come off of your VA disability as a dependent, right? So you no longer get paid for that 18-year-old person going to college, right? Who opts into Chapter 35. You lose out. They remove that person from your Chapter 35 they remove that person from your VA disability benefits. That person now starts receiving, as long as they're going full time, that Chapter 35 stipend, which is north of $1,000 a month. So it's actually a good deal. But the thing is, if your kid ever chooses not to go back to school and stops using Chapter 35, you can never add that kid back onto as a dependent again. That is something that a lot of people didn't realize. So yeah, check out the here, I'll share the video here. So you got to make sure that your kid is actually on board with going to school and not just like 1 or 2 semesters. Because once you take them off your VA disability, once they opt into Chapter 35, they're gone, man. They cannot be added again. Get shareable link. So here it is. Link to Chapter 35 video if anybody's interested in that. BAMSIS. Here we go. Let's go to the comments here real quick. H-Town Vet, Northside. Do you think vocational rehab should be available to all military personnel that are transitioning out of the military? Depend. Well, yeah. For let me put it like this. So it is, as long as you have the appropriate disability rating. I think it's 10% or 20%. I can't recall. Let me look it up here. VR&E. There we go. So it says veterans with at least 10% to 20% service disability rating. So 10%, right? Then you should be able to use that VRD. So you have to have some kind of percentage, right? And you have to have GI Bill. So should it be available? Sure. Why not? It's available to a ton of folks. The thing is, people don't really know about it. People don't really use it. And I've said it in one of my prior live streams that I just have this funny feeling somewhere in the depths of from the esophagus on down to everywhere inside, that VR&E may be going away. And now there's nothing in writing. Nobody has ever mentioned anything. But the reason I say that is because it is just too good of a benefit. It is too good of a benefit that somebody down the road is going to come back and say, hey, look, you're already getting the GI Bill. Why do we have this extra program for you? So just, if you haven't already signed up for it, I would sign up for it. And if you got denied, sign up for it again. Let me see. Slow SRT4. That's a cool name. I do have a question about VR&E. If I apply and make it through the interview process, is any penalty? Is any penalty if I don't go into the job field and just use it for schooling? Depends. All right. So if I'm tracking this right, are you talking about like if you go through the interview and you go through the job route, like training to find a job, or actually the education route? Two different things. Education route to get your degree to get into the job you want to do, or go into like a trade school where they train you how to be like a plumber or something like that. Two different things. So I've asked my counselor, like, hey, what if I can't find a job in psychology right away? He's like, that's not an issue. You work towards that. Now, while you're taking VR&E, you will have to report your stuff to your counselor, right? Like as far as like your grades and every semester, things like that. That's something different. But just clarify what you mean. You mean like the trade school route or you mean the education route? GC Jarhead, welcome, Semper Fi, Ra. We are doing it live. Yes, sir, we are. Yeah, here we go. So, Navy cop, when you age out, dependents or get a divorce, track your access to your VA records. Yes, I got a divorce and they broke my records. Took 2 years to get it fixed. Excellent information. Excellent information. I did also mention, or I got a question the other day about. Oh, never mind. It was TSP. It was somebody who mentioned, "Hey, look, um, there was like a divorce of some sort, and there was like a TSP involved. And what happens? You just got to make sure you have your beneficiaries updated on all your stuff, all your stuff. If you have like a life change, like just like Navy cop mentioned, get divorced, have a new kid, whatever the case may be, death in the family, death of the spouse, or something. Just make sure all your stuff is updated." Let me see. VR&E also encompasses employment support through your local employment offices, gives you access to veteran reps with some extra support. Excellent. Excellent. GC Jarhead. So since I just got PNT, DEA eligible, my kids are aged out of dependency for VA purposes. Is there an age limit for dependents to utilize Chapter 35? There is. There is. Let me get you that info. I have a little cheat sheet here. I should probably upload it somewhere. Where is it? Do. I'm going through my cheat sheet. I want to say it's 26 years old, but I will get back to you on that. I have it somewhere here. Um, I'll find it. I'll find it. I'll get it to you. But for example, like my kid's about to be 22 in school full time, still, still using her thing. So I'll get you that information, man. Sergeant Stacking, welcome, man. I'm seeing your silver stuff online, dude. That's awesome stuff. I love the designs on there. My daughter used Chapter 35 DEA benefits to complete college. She was also able to use state benefits called Hazelwood Act. That's right. You must be in Texas, right? Of course, H-Town. That exempt her from tuition and most fees. Says the Green Log was telling the truth about Chapter 35 dependent pay. My daughter dropped off my compensation and she started receiving Chapter 35. Yep. And yeah, that's a lot of things. That's something that a lot of folks cannot don't really understand when they first start looking into Chapter 35. There was a lot of questions when I put that video up. A lot of people were like, "Yeah, no, they don't." Yeah, they do. You're about to get a surprise, guy, because they're going to be dropping off your VA disability, that whole 300 whatever bucks that you get for an 18-year-old plus. It's going to get cut off. Then your 18-year-old plus dependent gets the Chapter 35, and I mean it's not a bad deal. They get their 1,000 whatever a month, as long as they're going full time. Your VA disability pay goes down, but they're taken care of for the most part. Here we go. Let me see what we got here. All right. I'm going through my cheat sheet right now, man. Trying to get you your information. Now, I will say that spouses, they don't come off of your chapter. They don't come off of your VA disability if your spouse decides to use Chapter 35. So that is a good thing. So your spouse can go get use that Chapter 35 to go to school, bachelor's, master's, whatever, and they don't come off. Where the hell is the cutoff age that I had, man? Damn it. It'll come to me, man. I'll get it. I got to do like a control F thing on here. But yeah, a lot of stuff going on with interviews, a lot of stuff going on with education. I'm freaking happy that I got my foot in that door. I just got a call yesterday from a this retired gunny that I know who sometimes he jumps on the live streams here, who is ready to start school at University of San Diego here using his VR&E, but he's just standing by to get word back from his counselor because he hasn't heard back from them. So just understand that things take a little bit of time. Sergeant Stacking, so Chapter 35 will pay for the kids' school and give them a monthly stipend. Negative, sir. So they will give a monthly stipend. That monthly stipend is for use to pay the tuition, unless you live somewhere like H-Town Vet mentioned, to get the Hazelwood Act that pays for the tuition. Here in California, there's CalVet that pays tuition to a Cal State school or any state school. Then on top of that, once their tuition is paid for through those things, they can also get the stipend from Chapter 35 on top of that. So if you live in a state that offers free tuition to your kid, you can utilize it that way. Got these planes flying overhead, man. Okay, so GC Jarhead. What I'm seeing here is if the veteran is rated 100% PNT or TDIU after 18th birthday, but prior to the 26th birthday, the kid would be granted an 8-year window in which to use up their 36 months of Chapter 35. So that is what it is. Let me see if I can find the reference here. Yep, I'll put the reference. AUS 200, yeah, fighter jets. You heard those, huh? Here is reference to Chapter 35 age limits. And I'll tell you, I will only I always put up references for whatever I'm putting out there. I don't like when folks just blindly put trash out there and you don't know where it's coming from. Like, I think that's a big problem, especially like on social media. People just say crap and people believe it without actually understanding where it's coming from. And it can be anybody saying anything, right? I like to put sources in my stuff. So when you watch some of my videos, I'll put links to the actual source of where I researched it, where I got the information from, in order to help you better understand. I mean, I did military justice for 20 years, man. I got to have a source for everything, right? Yeah, that's right. That's what it's looking like. So 8-year window. Yeah, I believe Virginia offers free as well. Does Virginia offer free dependent tuition? Let me see. Tuition. Virginia Department of Virginia Military Survivors Independent Education Program, VMSDEP, provides tuition and mandatory fee waivers at public colleges for spouses and children aged 16 to 29 of service members killed, missing, or at least 90% disabled due to military service. Eligible students may receive 8 semesters of free tuition and, depending on the tier, a stipend for educational benefits. Hmm, that's very good. You can get a lot done in 8 semesters. Absolutely, man. It's the only type of information I like putting out there. And then, I question all this trash, man. Like anywhere I see stuff online, I'm like, where'd you get that information from? Show me the source, not just somebody else's post that says random crap on it. Yeah. I don't like playing that game. Too many people just believe crap. Think link to jump on live stream here. I'll put this link to jump on live stream if anybody wants to jump on, talk about what they got going on during the day, share some coffee, talk about VR&E, chapter 35, talk about whatever. YouTubing as a veteran or podcasting as a veteran, which I firmly believe there need to be more veteran podcasters and more veteran YouTubers out there to get the information out. We have all learned so much during our careers. There's no way. I mean, you cannot be the holder of the information. You got to let it out. You got to let it out. Let me see. Navy Cop says local Air Guard base is doing night training this week. Multiple F-15 sorties flying into the evening. Best kind of white noise. Still miss the F-14s though. Yeah, that stuff will keep you up, man. Yeah, dude. So, but yeah, man, totally blessed to be able to talk to the folks that I have spoken with lately. I do bring a lot of gear with me when I go, like when I did that in-person interview with this gentleman. Good thing he had a lot of good lighting in his place. We did it at the VFW. He's a VFW commander, so we just had the whole place to ourselves. Um, but yeah, very, very blessed to be able to do what I'm doing right now, in a good position to be able to do that, and that's through just kind of making sure that I have the time to be able to do what I'm doing right now. So through strategery, is that a word? No, through strategic planning, to be able to conduct my YouTube stuff, to be able to do the consulting that I'm doing, to be able to interview the people, all that stuff, and that it pays bills. That's any veteran out there can do it. Just got to figure it out. And I'm willing to help you. Let me see what we got here. I'm the H-Town vet. I'm looking for your post on when you're actually going to be live next. I can't. I'm scrolling up here trying to find it. Maximum strategy. That's right, sir. I mean, nothing works without a plan, right? At that point, it's just luck. And as old Arnie said at one point, luck is for the ill prepared. So you got to go into it knowing that you're going to get stuff done, and not just base it off of luck. H Town Vet says, I will be alive tonight at 6 p.m. Central Time. Brother, I hope so. Spell check ruined the joke. It was supposed to be maximum strategy. Strategery. Okay, maximum strategery. Yes. JC, GC, I'm sorry, GC. That J is like, I'm thinking that J is in the beginning for some reason. Maybe it's my like dyslexia or whatever. GC Jarhead, great information on this, brother. I'm going to look into some BRNE stuff myself. Shit, might send the whole family back to the school now. Do it, dude. Why not? Why not? Send them all. My kid is using it. My wife is about to start using it. You know, they can have their job, they can get the stipend, they can get everything paid for. Why not, dude? The benefits are there. And I'm a strong believer that if you don't use the benefits, you're going to lose the benefits, right? And at some point they're going to go away, I believe. Why not use it now? Send the whole family back. Everybody gets a law degree. Everybody gets a master's degree. Go. You're always welcome to come up to the live and share your wisdom. Absolutely, man. I appreciate it. So 6 p.m. Central Time, which makes it what? What are on Pacific time? Is that 2 hours away? Let me see. I'm terrible with time zones, man. What's Central Time right now? Central Time. I think Central Time is what, 11:30 right now? Okay, so maybe an hour. No, I know exactly what you meant to say, man. Trust me. That bill introduces info on letting retirees continue contributions to TSP. Dude, I hope that that thing gets passed, man. So that is the Forward Act is what you're talking about. Forward Act. Let me pull that thing up here. The Forward Act. Yeah, introduced August 19th, 2025, referred to the House Committee on Oversight and Government Reform. I don't know. Let me see the actions here. When's the next time they're going to meet? It doesn't say. So that would be excellent, man. So that I've seen in recent days, for whatever reason, depends on how you have your TSP structured. Excuse me. Depends on how you have your TSP structured. That thing is blowing up right now, like in a good way. It's really, really doing well, depending on how you have your stuff. If you're all in the G fund, hey, I mean, I won't tell you how to do your stuff, but there may be better ways out there. I'm not a financial advisor, but I will tell you, you may want to talk to one if you're in the G fund. TSP is doing well, and we will see where it goes from there. I would love for the Forward Act to be passed and continue to contribute to the TSP. All right, GC Jarhead. Good to have you, buddy. Let me see. It is 12:30 p.m. here in Texas right now. Okay, so you're 2 hours ahead of me. Okay, 2 hours. So I guess 8 p.m. Yeah. I'm just gonna write this down so I don't forget. This thing never leaves my desk. There's always a pad here. It's the first thing I look at when I sit down. So if there's a note on here somewhere like buy the wife some flowers for Valentine's Day, then that's the first thing I'll see. Also, if you're watching and you're married and you have a significant other or something like that, Valentine's Day is in 4 days. Don't forget, do something. Don't wait last minute and then stop by Trader Joe's or something and all the flowers are gone. Yeah, no, I appreciate it. H Town, Vet North Side. 8 p.m. tonight, or 8, I think it was 8 p.m., right? Yeah, 8 p.m. tonight, PST. Then I will, I'll try to make it out there. Unsung Veteran says Valentine's Day is a Hallmark scam. Dude, try telling that to my wife, man. They don't think it's a scam. They think, hey, I want some flowers on this day. Well, that excuse ain't gonna fly. I I understand where you're coming from. It was made just like diamonds or whatever for weddings. Yeah, but yeah, try telling them that. Damn, somebody comments that they're sickly great here. Sergeant Staggy says, I'm making my wife a silver heart. It will last longer. Awesome, man. You got to post a picture of that, man. You got some pretty cool designs out there. Navy Cop says 10:30 a.m. 10:30 and been in the office for an hour. Zero customers. Slowest job I've ever done, but a paycheck is a paycheck. Yeah, a paycheck is a paycheck, man. I'd go crazy if I had like zero interaction. Almost like I don't know if anybody's been on duty before, like staff duty, like in the military, and like nothing happens sometimes, and you just kind of like, what do I do? You bring your phone, you bring your iPad, watch the movies or whatever overnight, but or bring a book, do some homework if you're in school. But man, if there's nothing going on, it gets super boring. The unsung veteran, my wife does. She really doesn't care. Well, that's good, man. You guys are on the same page. 6 p.m. Central Time for the live here, my time. Awesome. I will try to make it, man. I know you gotta have a lot of interaction there. Um, I also find that doing the evening live streams seems to be a lot more lively. Uh, I mean, this is a great group here, but when I went live the other day, there was a lot of folks kind of in the mix, so that was kind of fun to be able to talk about that with a lot of folks. So good stuff. The key to get flowers all the time, not just some scam made up holiday. Yeah, I agree. We keep flowers in my kitchen. Probably buy them every 2 weeks or so. Just looks nice, smells good. We open up the sliding door in the back and then just let the breeze in. Just smells good. So yeah, I agree, man. I mean, we always have flowers, so it's not a big deal. Navy Cop says, divorced for 11 years. Valentine's Day is just another day on the calendar. Man. Yeah, almost worse than Firewatch. You got to walk your post in the military manner, keeping always on the alert. Those general orders cannot escape me, man. Those things are like drilled into my head. Hey, man, at this unsung veteran, I'm slowly learning that 12 years married, you'd think I'd have it together by now. Yeah, man. So what I find, I'll be honest, what I find is what I've been doing is my wife and I usually take trips different places, and that's fun for us because we like traveling. Every so often we'll take our kids with us, but for the most part, like sometimes around Valentine's Day, maybe our anniversary, we'll just go somewhere together. So it's fun traveling, exploring different places, new cultures, things like that. Jason Mac McCullough, I just got a call from my VASAH agent. Excellent. Okay. So when you say SAA agent, that's the specially adapted housing. Is that correct? So I got approved last year for a 121,000 grant. Shit, man. Congratulations, dude. Go forth and do great things. That's awesome. I applaud you, sir. And I hope that whatever that is for really helps you out with what you got going on. That's excellent. I've seen that especially adapted housing stuff. Um, no limited information on it. I think they do like ramps if you need a way to get into your house, maybe lower countertops, things like that. I did have somebody ask me at one point if they could use that to get a pool installed in their backyard. I have no idea. I don't know that. I mean, I guess you have to have some kind of justification showing that a pool would benefit you in some way. After 17 years of marriage, I found out I guess I didn't have it figured out, so it goes. Maybe it'll happen again one day. Thankful some sites let you opt out of Valentine's advertising. Yeah, not everybody has it figured out, man. Shit, I don't have it figured out either, man. I've been married 19 years so far. It's always a work in progress, dude, as is with anything. So I can use 126,000 for this year. Wow. So last year you got 121,000 and this year you got 126,000? Damn. I'm curious what kind of upgrades you're making to the house. I think you had a wheelchair or something when we talked, like wheelchair ramps or maybe lowering the counters and things like that. The unsung veteran. 10 years into my second marriage, so don't take advice from me. Well, I mean, 10 years strong, right? So you could have some advice to put out there. A while back, I put up a video of the VA or something, and I was getting this one dude who was just giving me just crap online, right? And it was funny. I mean, I don't usually get that, but this guy was just kind of adamant about just trying to put these negative comments up. So I'm like, yeah, whatever, dude. And he's like, "What's next? You gonna have a merch store?" And I didn't get mad at that. I'm like, "That's that's a pretty good idea, actually. Thank you for your thank you for your recommendation, sir." So not that I'm doing a merch store. I actually went to a this local printing company, shirt printing company, and got some shirts made, mostly for me, and just a couple sizes, some for my kids. But I'll show you guys when it comes up, and maybe you guys like it, maybe you don't. But I may put it up there for up for grabs or something. And when I hit the 10,000 mark, I'll probably do a giveaway with one of those shirts as well. So it's just a fun little idea I had. I went out there. I just happened to have some time during my day. Went to the post office, stopped by this T-shirt shop. I'm like, huh, this is pretty damn good. Let's see, Mike Hunt wife. Is that Sal Volcano? Is that the dude from the comedy show? What's the comedy show's name? The Joker, Impractical Jokers. Is that me? No, no. We may have the same body type though. That's funny. And I like the name, Mike Hunt wife. So is that like something you do, or is that a name? Um, Jason Mac McCullough. Yeah. I assume it is a complicated process to get all that stuff approved, man. You have to have some extreme justification for that stuff. Sergeant Stacking, maybe they'll let you use the grant to have an indoor range built in your home. Definitely help out, release some stress. Yeah, it would. It would, I think. GC Jarhead, you need some custom stuff done. Reach out. We have a small apparel company. Damn it. Why did I just find this out? I just ordered some stuff. But shoot me your information, man. I'm all for supporting veteran businesses and veteran nonprofits and operations. Shoot me the info if you'd like, and yeah, I'll check you guys out. Sergeant Stacking, I love anything USMC or veteran related. People will hate on everything you do. Can never make certain people happy. Yeah, I stopped trying that, man, a long time ago. Not everybody's gonna be happy about anything. So about everything, should I say. So as long as you are happy and the people within your immediate circle are good, that's all that matters. I'm done with trying to make everybody happy and trying to conform to all that crap. That ain't me, man. On some veteran, my plan is if my channel ever gets big enough, I will sell merch, but all sales will be donated to veterans. I love that, dude. I love it, really. Are you like veteran nonprofits, or you just gonna give cash out to folks? Curious. Jason, once you start using SAH grand, you are locked into that amount. Damn. Mike Hunt wife. I'll give you a backstory. So I was married to this girl for like 12 years. Then she tells me she is attracted to dudes. Had to kick that. All right. Um, GC Jarhead, we'll do this afternoon. Yeah, you got my email, man. Just shoot it out to me. I think you have my email. Just shoot it out to me. Uh, yeah, some nonprofits. Dude, the amount of nonprofits run by veterans out there is insane. Insane. Like I'm connected to a few around my area. And then I started going on LinkedIn and seeing more and more. And I mean, there's got to be thousands of nonprofits. I mean, some are not doing anything; they just have the name. Some is, I assume, they're for like tax purposes, maybe, but some are actually like really good, trying to do really good things. So, yeah, I've researched some stuff like that, like doing a nonprofit to assist vets in doing in getting information that maybe they haven't received. But it's so, like, saturated. The nonprofit for veterans is so saturated, especially with, like, the job assistance type of thing. I mean, you go on LinkedIn, you can do a couple clicks, and you come across 10 of those things. It's just, you gotta be well connected, you gotta know what you're doing. Let me see what we got here. See, we got a few folks on the Green Logbook, and we got a few folks on the Military Retirement Podcast channel. Welcome, everyone. So the Military Retirement Podcast channel, we usually just do our live streams on Sundays with like a guest, where it's like my co-host John and I talk a little bit about what's going on in the veteran sphere, right? And so that's that. But we're trying to expand a little bit more, especially this year. It's a little tough to do sometimes because John, my co-host John, we are in very different locations around the globe. He is in Italy. He's a retired Army Chief Warrant Officer living in Italy. I am a retired Chief Warrant Officer, Marine Corps Chief Warrant Officer living in Southern California. So very different time zones, very hard to kind of link up with each other. He's got a day job. I work mostly from home here, and every so often I go out and, meet with folks. But for the most part, we gotta kind of find out the nice time frame that we can both be online. So it's tough. It's tough, but we make it happen. Sundays, 8 a.m. is when we do our live stream on the Military Retirement Podcast. I can't recall who we have coming up this time around. Let me see if I can find. Of course, actually, this thing locks me out, man. Who do we have coming up here next? We're always working on getting some guests on here. So what's today? The 10th. It'll come to me, man. I'm not finding it right now. Well, I'll tell you, we do get some weird emails sometimes, man. Both on my Green Logbook YouTube channel or email and on the Military Retirement Podcast. We get folks from, like, I don't know, different countries that want to come on and talk to the veteran community. I'm like, I don't know how that connects, right? They're like folks who are in engineering in like India or something that want to come and talk to the veteran community, which it doesn't like correlate. Like, I don't know. So a little bit strange. I don't know how they get our email, but whatever. A lot of the folks we like to bring on have to have something of a veteran connection there somehow. All right, so let me share this here one more time here. This is the link to jump on the live stream if you want to jump on the live stream. Usually some folks like to come on and tell about their day, talk about their day. Link to, or no, not this one. Jump on the live stream. But yeah, good stuff this morning. Good talk about VR&E education, about chapter 35. about veterans on YouTube. That's another good thing, right? I know a couple of folks out there mentioned that they wanted to start a YouTube channel or a podcast, really. There's a lot of veterans starting to do that, especially I came across a lot of them in 2025. Shit, I talked to a lot of them here, like H Town Vet. There's Raider HQ. There's a lot of folks I'm sure many of you know out there. Um, but the thing is, I'm a firm believer that veterans should start something. We all have a story to tell. We've all been through some stuff. We've all learned about leadership and mentorship and leadership traits and all this stuff and benefits that maybe somebody else doesn't know about. Hey, share the wealth with the community. Why not? Plus, it's fun. Plus, potentially you can pay, if you do it for so long, if you have consistency, things like that. You build an audience, people get to know you. You don't always have to put your face out there, like we have like Raider HQ out there, which he does an audio type of YouTube channel, which is completely fine. It's super cool how he does it. Um, you don't have to show your face. So just get the information out there, connect with the community. That's what it's about. Actually, while I'm doing this live stream, I'm also editing a video that I need to get out this week. So kind of double tasking myself here, but it's fun. It's fun. Let's see also what else is on the agenda on congress.gov. Where we at? Legislation. Can't get away from it, man. Who's that person? Mike Hunt wife said Sam Volcano, and then somebody else called me something the other day too. I forgot the dude's name. The guy from Fox News. I forgot his name. They're like, yeah, you look like this guy. I'm like, shit, man, I get everything. Somebody said I look like Philip Rivers one time, like the old Chargers quarterback. I don't know where the hell they get that from. Let me see here. What we got going? Bill type legislation, sponsor, co-sponsor, bills. Let's see. Passed one chamber, passed both chambers. Trying to see if there's any legislation that has passed or that has at least moved forward a little bit that pertains to us. The ones that became law recently. I mean, this is as of January, right? Fast Vets Act, Rural Veterans Improvement Access to Benefits Act of 2025. That one passed the House, but that was September of last year. Some other recent ones that passed in January. Ernest Peltz Accrued Veterans Benefits Act. That one passed the House on the 3rd of February. Let me look at that one. That was HR 3123. What's that? Oh, we got Amazon up in here. I was wondering who the hell is at my door. Let me see. So the HR 2132 or 23, excuse me. Let's put this up here so everybody knows what the hell I'm talking about. I'm just looking at legislation that has some movement on it or has passed the House or something. Let's see. Make myself small there. Bill establishes procedures for the Department of Veterans Affairs to issue a pension that was due but unpaid at the time of a veteran's death, specifically if the VA issues a decision awarding entitlement to a pension to a veteran prior to the veteran's death, but issues the payment after the veteran dies. The pension must be paid to the first available recipient on the following list: veteran's living spouse, veteran's living children, veterans living dependents, parents, award the estate of the veteran unless the estate will escheat, transfer to the state. To be eligible for such pension payments, a claimant of accrued benefits must file an application within 1 year after the veteran's death. There you go, something to keep track of. So HR 3123. 2-3. Ernest Peltz, Accrued Veterans Benefits Act. Just so you know. What else we got here? Go back. There you go. Yeah, that one. Okay. What other one? Let's go by most recent, huh? How about that? Latest action, newest to oldest. That'll help out. On the 4th, a bill to amend Title 38, codify the requirements for appointment qualifications and pay for therapeutic payments, physicists. Okay. Ernest Peltz, we saw that one. Vets Opportunity Act of 2025, that one was passed the House on the 3rd of February. HR 1458, bill addresses the administration of and eligibility for certain Department of Veterans Affairs educational assistance benefits and programs. The bill modifies the process for repaying service members and veterans who paid to keep benefits under Montgomery GI Bill, but later chose to utilize post 9/11 GI Bill benefits. Specifically, the bill requires that the VA issue a repayment within 60 days of an individual exhausting their eligibility to post 9/11 benefits, regardless of their housing stipend eligibility. The bill also modifies which independent study programs are covered under Veterans Educational Assistance Benefits. The bill requires independent study programs that lead to a certificate that reflects graduation from a course of study to include regular and substantive interaction between students and instructors. Additionally, the bill allows such independent study programs to be offered by any institutions of higher education, including for nonprofit institutions that are approved to participate in the Department of Education's financial assistance programs. Upon receiving orders for active service and active duty training or state active duty, the bill authorizes a member of the armed forces or reserves to enter into an agreement with their educational institution to complete a course of education to the satisfaction of the institution if they have completed at least half of the course. Okay. Another one to keep track of. Good stuff. See what else we got. Did it just go back to damn? Okay, latest action. Good. Um, this one passed. Okay, that's back in the day. Then did I just pass another one? Yeah. So there's a whole lot of them, and what I'm on here, and this is probably one of the best ways to keep track of them. Put this into your bookmarks. The U.S. Senate committees on Veterans Affairs. I'll put it here in the comments. Set alerts for this. That way, you are in the know on what is being passed instead of having to jump on like YouTube and listen to freaking YouTubers talk for 20 minutes just to give you a snippet of information. Get it yourself on here. Easy. Shit, it's what I do. Why not? I'm telling you all exactly how I do it. So that's that. I'm wondering what other states out there also offer free dependent tuition. I know Virginia offers some, California does, Texas does. Let me see what. Tuition. Where's everybody from? Put it in the comments. Where's everybody joining from? Okay, so it says, let me see. We got key states with such programs include California, Arizona, New York, South Dakota, Montana, and Washington. California has a CalVet. I'm surprised I didn't put Texas on there. California has CalVet. Excellent program. If you're from California, definitely check out CalVet. They pay for any state school. Any state school. It's the CSU or UC system. you can get free tuition. Your dependents, not you, not the veteran, but dependents. That means spouses. That means kids can get free school there. Arizona Department. Yeah, I know. Unsung veteran mentioned Arizona there. Um, provides tuition waivers for Purple Heart recipients and certain disabled veterans for undergraduate studies. Hmm. Okay. Very good. New York Veteran Tuition Awards available to eligible residents for SUNY and CUNY schools for up to 10 semesters. You can do a lot in 10 semesters. Arizona Tactical, welcome to the channel, man. Um, couldn't tell where you're from the screen name. Just kidding, man. Welcome. You're always welcome. Good stuff from AZ. Sergeant Stacken says Illinois does too. Just look them up. Not sure if it's only specific schools, but I read that the University of Illinois offers 4 years tuition free. Hell yeah, dude. Hell yeah. 4 year, dude. Go, yeah. Get your dependents in that system. Get them all that free school, man. Arizona Tactical. People always ask me. Yeah. So I'm curious that the name is Arizona Tactical. Do you run like a tactical shop or something? Curious about that. Or you just like the tactical name? Let me see. We got South Dakota offers free tuition to veterans who served in combat zones and meet residency requirements. Montana provides in-state tuition rates and specific waivers like the War Orphans waiver. Huh. The War Orphans waiver. Let me write that down. It's new to me. War Orphans. Okay. Let me see. Washington offers tuition waivers for eligible veterans and their dependents. So to veterans, right? Not a lot of like Calvet doesn't even offer tuition waivers to veterans. They do the yellow ribbon program, things like that. I think a lot of schools do, but that's pretty good if they offer eligible veterans tuition waivers. Excellent. Arizona Tactical. No, just ex-military and tactical guy, and my job revolved around it for many years. Excellent, man. Uh, curious, what branch of service? When did you serve? Trying to figure out what to do now besides wait. As far as what, like now in as a job, now in life, trying to find your purpose, your passion, your mission. Okay. I'm putting a I'm putting a link out there again if anybody wants to jump on the live stream. Um, sometimes it's hit or miss. Sometimes folks just want to line up to jump onto this thing. Sometimes not. That's very cool. That's fine with me. Arizona Tactical says VR&E. Dude, yes, do it, please. Use that benefit. Former Navy. Awesome. I love it. I worked with the Navy for a while. I was working surface warfare. I was a training and operations advisor with the surface warfare community after I retired from the Marines. So a lot of great Navy folks in that community. Sergeant Stacking, Illinois, right? The S is silent. Also has a grant of 250 annually for dependents ages 10 to 18 for veterans that were MIA, POW, died on active duty, or 100% PNT/TDIU. See, man, look, connecting with folks like I would have never known that, but connecting with you, because of you, Sergeant Stacking, I am now 1% smarter than I was like 5 seconds ago. So I appreciate that, man. Let me see. Let me look at Arizona, man. Let's go. Let's go here. So a lot of these benefits, not just Arizona, but all over, a lot of these states. I mean, I've looked many of them up. A lot of them are for folks who are 100% uh, VA disabled or service connected, which I've already said it many times. I hate the word disabled because it puts a label on you and it makes you feel like you are like you really can't do anything, right? We are not disabled. So, um, what the hell? I'm getting text. What the fuck? My bad. I'm just getting some crazy text messages here. Shit. Fucking spilled my shit. Just got to respond. Give me a second, guys. Yes. Okay. Let me see. Arizona Tactical. Thank you for sub. Thank you for your sub, man. I truly appreciate that, man. I'm a big fan of the each one teach one model, right? If I know something, there's no reason for me to keep the knowledge. I got to let it out. I got to let other people know. It just makes the community that much better. It really does. I'm looking up Arizona stuff right now. I'm very curious because I'm always trying to expand the knowledge, right? And let me see here, Arizona tuition waiver covers tuition for undergrad programs at Arizona public schools. Purple Heart recipients, 50% or more VA service connected who were Arizona residents or stationed in Arizona, surviving spouses and children of service members killed in the line of duty, National Guard, awarded Purple Heart, and National Guard medically discharged due to injury, in-state tuition status for veterans and their dependents, regardless of residency, can receive in-state tuition rates if they were discharged within 36 months of enrollment and are using VA chapters 31, 30, 33, or 35. Spouse tuition waiver. Spouses of honorably discharged veterans residing in Arizona may receive a waiver for tuition and mandatory fees at public universities. Yes, that's great. Honorary high school diploma. I mean, that's just the education side of things. Uh, need to more research more often. All right, he says I'm on her PNT now at my age and service. Okay, Ronan Bruv, what's going on? Welcome back. We were talking some good VR&E stuff, man. You came at the right time, dude. Sergeant Staggy says, Sergeant Major always said, don't be the senior man with the secret. Yeah, that's right. Don't be the holder of the information. Let people know, dude. Nothing good comes of that. Look at what happened during the freaking Pearl Harbor thing, right? The one guy had the information, didn't let it out. There was a whole mess that happened with that. Arizona Tactical, I know we get free registration for one car or truck, and I know we get all student loans forgiven. I have done that already, and not much else. Well, you know what, man? We're gonna dig into that, dude, because if we can find something, we'll get it. There's got to be something else out there. It can't just be those two things. Let's see. veteran stuff. I will do some research on that, man. I'm curious about Arizona too. I have some friends that live out in Arizona, some that just moved out there as well, and curious. I'll reach out to him as well. Always curious to figure out what each state gives for veterans. Um, Arizona title. Well, I appreciate it, man. Thank you very much, dude. It's fun. It really is fun, man. Um, we acquire so much information during our time in the military, our time outside. As parents, as fathers, as spouses, etc. You learn from people's successes and failures. You got to pass that information on to the next generation, to the next person who may not have that information to make the community better, man. That's what it's all about. Firmly believe that. Turn this thing on here. Let me see. Where else is everybody else from? We got Arizona in the house, California in the house. Ronan Bruv, what's the status of that channel, dude? Love to link up and get some good VR&E info out there for the masses. I made that whole video on that Arizona Tactical, since you're looking at VR&E as well. I made a whole video on getting your foot in the door with VR&E and getting the justification just right for your counselor, and making it very, very difficult for them to say, no, we can't help you out because you should have all your bases covered at this point. That's right. Yeah, Washington's not going to move, right? Yeah, I think it was Idaho, right? I think that's calling your name, dude. Chi-Town, yeah. Dude, I went to Chicago, it must have been a year ago, 2 years ago, maybe. I do a lot of artwork, right? Like, I did it while I was in the Marine Corps, and I do a lot of, like, I connect with a lot of veteran artists, and, I got what do they call, like, a scholarship, right? They flew me out to Chicago um, to exhibit at a gallery out there, to pay for the hotel and everything, but damn, it was cold, dude. It was freezing. I can't remember what month I went in, but we stayed at a little hotel right by that bean that you have, that, like, chrome bean that you have downtown somewhere. Beautiful place though, but holy crap, was it freezing, man. Virginia is real estate tax waived, primary residence, and up to 1 acre of land. Hell yeah. Vehicle, personal property tax, fee, vehicle registration, some other stuff. Yeah, so the property tax is huge. That is huge. For any of the folks that live out in Cali, in California, like, I've been following this one very closely, SB 296, the property tax exemption for California, which is it was introduced, it was tabled for 2 years, and we'll see where it goes. I don't know. There's no movement on it right now, but I mean, there's so many veterans that live out here. It would be crazy. Like, I don't know how they're not just, like, all calling their representatives all the time. Be like, hey, we need to pass this trash. But I'll be going up to the Capitol here, not here in a few months, with another gentleman that I know of who is doing some big things for veterans, and hope to get an audience with the one of the senators out there who wrote the SB 296. Just ask some questions. Ronan Bra this week. Hopefully, you loved your video on. Well, I appreciate it, man. Yeah, yeah, hopefully it helps too. Try to give some examples on that video and kind of foot stomping, right? Like, hey, maybe you should use these justifications or something to that effect. Um, because I find that a lot of folks don't know how to, um, I guess, for lack of a better term, sell themselves, right? If during one of these VR&E interviews. So, I mean, not to say that I got a little nervous, I just didn't know what to say. So I openly asked my counselor questions, and I researched online too. So Thankfully, my counselor was very responsive and, former Marine as well. He's like, "Look, man, I really want to help you out and help you do what you want to do. Here's what I need from you." And it just worked out for the best. I just got hooked up with an excellent counselor that kind of gave me the behind the scenes look at what's happening and how he's running it. So that's the only way I kind of knew how to justify these things. He's like, "Well, if you tell me that you need this because of this, then I can work with that." I'm like, "Okay, well, then I need this because of that," because I really did. Yeah, that lakefront chill in Chicago is no dude, that is yeah, you're not lying, man. It is no joke. It is no joke. Says this winter has been the worst in the negatives. Today it's 45 and we're out here in shorts and bikinis. Yeah, I say it's cold out here where I am too, but I mean not compared to out anywhere else around the country, right? I mean, I woke up what 5 this morning, went out for a little PT session with my kid, and it was like it might have been like 50, and it's probably like 60s right now, and this is cold. Like I'm wearing a damn sweater. It's cold in my house, but it's like 60. Washington just drastically increased property taxes across the board. Need to be 100% P&T to get sort of relief. Damn. You know where I heard too is I know a lot of folks who live out in Florida. I grew up partly in Florida myself. I joined the Marine Corps out of Florida. Excuse me. And I heard I don't own property in Florida. I have family out there. But what I'm hearing is the property taxes and the home insurance out there is insane, insane. And I'm curious if anybody else is in Florida right now, what that looks like. Because I was thinking for a while back that I wanted to move back out there. Um, but if I'm gonna encounter some crazy property taxes and all that, then or excuse me, home insurance stuff, then is it really reasonable to go buy out there? I try to sell myself, but I was told I need to lose some weight and get a shorter skirt and some better heel. What the fuck? Man, I thought you were being serious at first. I'm like, "Oh, this guy's talking some deep stuff, man. Let me see. I try this guy. Sergeant Stacking. Let's see what he's got, man. The city is a bit colder, but I second that Chicagoland has been brutal this year. Yeah, I imagine, man. I was only there for maybe a week. Not even that. It was like 4 days. We went on a train. I went out there with my kid. We went on a I don't know what y'all call it out there, the L train or the trolley or whatever, but we were on the platform and the wind was so cold, man. I freaking went behind one of those signs, like the advertisement signs, and that shit was whipping, dude. Yeah, it was rough. See, SoCal weather feels good. So good I never wear a coat. I'm glad I'm here and not in those snowstorms on the East Coast recently. Yeah, for real. Not turning back 84. Yeah, you and me both, dude. SoCal. It was not my first choice to live here, but about now it doesn't feel too bad. The only time I really wear a coat is when I go up to like the mountains. Like if you ever go to Big Bear or anything like that, sometimes you need a coat. It's like a big mountain town out there. People go skiing and snowboarding up there. It's just fun. And that's a Cali guy saying another state taxes are high. Yeah, yeah, for real. I live in California right now. I grew up in Jersey in Florida. And I'm hearing that like when I lived in Florida, the prices are so low. I recall the house that I grew up in. My parents bought it for I don't know, like just under 90,000 maybe, something like that. And when they went to go sell it, it was like this was like around right before COVID times too. It had increased significantly. But then what I'm hearing is nowadays the home insurance, like you can't really get home insurance at a reasonable price anymore because all the I guess the hurricanes or whatever. Even here, like in SoCal, there's a lot of fires and stuff like that because it's so dry sometimes. Also, the gas prices too are insane out here in California. Unless you go somewhere like on base or Costco or something. I have a few buddies that live in Tampa, and they have to pay some crazy flood insurance on top of their home insurance. Yeah, I recall. Yeah, and I bought a house a while back in North Carolina, and when I was stationed over in Camp Lejeune, and you had to have flood. I think it was flood insurance, and I think it was hail too. I can't recall, or that might have been for the car. But there was flood insurance. If you're on a certain side of the 95, then you have to pay for flood insurance. GC Jarhead, 280 a gallon. Dude, where do you live, man? Or 280 a gallon. I say you're brave, big. I stay the F off the train in Chicago unless I'm packing lots of weirdos. Dude, you know what? I did encounter a few weirdos out there. I went on the train. I was with my kid. I guess I was like, I didn't know any better, I suppose. Like I did see a few sketchy folks, and that's just me being aware of my surroundings. But I did see some folks. But like I ride the trolley here, like in SoCal, over in San Diego here all the time. And it's not that bad. I mean, you get the random dude who comes on is just talking to himself and crap, but for the most part, I've not encountered anything that serious. Um, so yeah, I'm glad nothing happened out there. Oh, okay, okay. So you live over in Quantico, Virginia. Gotcha, gotcha. Knockout 9446. Welcome to the channel. I haven't seen your name before. Welcome. Thanks for your service. Do you think we will ever have another president that cares about our pets, or was Biden the last? you know, I'm gonna I'll put it like this: I don't know, and I'm not gonna get into much of that, but I hope so. I'll put it like that. People out in Spokane cross over to Idaho to get a $1.50 or more decrease in their cost. Yeah. Yeah, I guess if you lived near a border and you can just skip over and get it, like, less expensive, why not? I remember going up to, oh, man, there's a place called like, south of the border between North Carolina and South Carolina. They used to sell a lot of fireworks there, so we'd make a stop every so often when we're driving up, get a bunch of fireworks out there. See people out in Spokane cross over. Oh, I already read your comment. My bad, dude. My bad. But yeah, man. So I will say, knockout 9446. I appreciate your comment, but I will say that I try to keep it outside of the political realm. I don't like to talk about that stuff on my channel, solely because especially in these times, it can really divide the veteran community. It could really cause issues. And rather than get into politics and stuff like that, I would rather um, have everybody kind of united under the same idea that we are a lot of us are struggling with the same thing. A lot of us want to find out how we can effectively use our benefits. A lot of us want to help each other. So if I bring any kind of politics into the mix, I mean, you've seen it all over YouTube, it ain't going to work out well. So I try to stay away from all that stuff, at least for my YouTube channel. Hopefully you understand that, but I appreciate your question. We recently, on the Military Retirement Podcast, we recently had this gentleman, Joe Michelle, on the podcast. It was this past Sunday. And this gentleman was talking about the federal employment benefits. Let me make sure I got the information correct. Really, really good, knowledgeable guy. Um, where did I write this stuff down? I got so many damn notepads up here. I got all these different things, notepads, and I'm always writing something down here. Yeah, the federal military buyback. So if you are a federal employee and you need information on how to buy back your time, I was never well versed in that. I was a federal employee for quite some time. I say quite some time, but it was like 6 months, and I never really acquired that much. I was already retired from the military, so I didn't have to buy back my time, nor did I want to. But this guy put out a lot of great information on that. So if that's you and you're looking to do anything with military buyback and you're a federal employee or looking to get into the federal employment, check out the Military Retirement Podcast. That's my other YouTube channel. Excuse me. And look at the last live stream we did with a gentleman, retired Chief Warrant Officer, Army Chief Warrant Officer named Joe Michelle. And this dude is very knowledgeable on that. Talks about which forms to submit, all that stuff. Way more knowledgeable on all that stuff than I was. We talked about TSP death benefits and making sure that you have a beneficiary for that. Talk about FERS and CSRS, DFAS, and gosh, what else? There's a whole lot of good stuff. Charlton Zimmerman, man, welcome to the chat, dude. Good to see you on here again. It's your shop, Green Logbook. Wish VA Secretary would stop politics as well. Yeah, I mean, he's kind of in that realm, though, right? So, I mean, he's got to play that game as well. The good thing is, I don't have to play that game if I choose not to. So that's fun for me. I'd rather give out some good information and just kind of leave it at that. Try to stay away from 20+ minute videos on YouTube just to get to one point. Somebody had mentioned that before. I put out like a 5-minute video, even less than that, like 3 to 4 minute video on something. I can't recall what it was. It might have been chapter 35. And they were like, yeah, this is different from like these other channels that have like this whole 20-minute spiel and never really get to the point until somewhere in the middle or somewhere in the end. I'm like, well, thank you, man. I appreciate that. Let's see what else we got going here. Oh, thank you to the folks who jumped on and subscribed to the channel. Let's see. Of course, text messages. Can't ignore these though. It's the wife. Send them over. Gosh, what the hell? Okay, let's see. Yeah, so curious where everybody's tuning in from. Let me see. I'm going to share this one more time. If anybody wants to jump on here, of course, it's Veterans and Coffee, right? So if you want to jump on, share some coffee, talk some stuff, really VR&E education, veterans on YouTube, which I highly, highly advocate for. Chapter 35, things like that. Link to jump on the live stream. So there you are. Yeah. So the veterans on YouTube, I think it's an awesome idea. Veterans that have podcasts, I think is an awesome idea. It's crazy. I talked a little bit about it on, I think it was the last live stream we did on Sunday, how when I started out, it was like I had 0 people watching, didn't didn't have anybody watching really. It was just me talking to myself to 0 people, 0 commentary, and I went back and I just stared at myself in the mirror. I'm like, what the hell are you doing? Like, what are you doing with your life? You know, you're like a 40-something-year-old man. You're talking to 0 people online. But we have to learn that things progress a little bit. You have to acquire, you have to grow an audience, you have to connect with people, right? So that's exactly what I did. And thankfully, that's how it happens. So if you are starting a YouTube channel, if you are starting a podcast, and maybe you don't have folks jumping on your live streams or on your videos, do not be worried about that. It will happen for you, I promise. You know, and if you are starting a YouTube channel, please let me know and I will shout you out all day on my YouTube channel because it's all about helping each other out, championing the next veteran to succeed. You know, I firmly believe that my success on this one has been because of you all and other channels that are willing to give me a shout out. What the hell is this? More? Oh gosh, I don't want to do that. And if anybody is this goes in line with the VR&E, right? So I got an email saying that the VA is looking to hire, I think 300 VR&E counselors. So potentially, that could potentially mean that if you're looking to go VR&E and you want to switch careers and you want to kind of sell yourself in that manner, hey, I really want to be a VR&E counselor because if you didn't know, VR&E counselors need to have master's degrees in order to be an actual VR&E counselor, right? So that could be a potential position that you want to put yourself in. I really want to be a VR&E counselor. How do I get into that position? That's how you sell yourself to your VR&E counselor. I want to be where you are. I want to help out the mission. And potentially that could be your justification to get your stuff approved. And I think VR&E counselors need to have some kind of degree in social work or psychology, something to that effect. So, FYI. Okay. Yeah, we're redoing our backyard, so I'm getting text messages from all over the place. The landscaper, the gardener, it's just trying to field all this. Um, I should probably I should probably tell them, hey, I'm on the line with freaking GC Jarhead here, leave, a Navy cop. Give me a few minutes. Here we go. I'm very curious what folks, like the folks that are watching, that are in the comments and all that. What do you all do for a living? I'm curious about that. Like, what is your job? I think like Navy cop is a security guard, I believe. What does everybody do for a living after they left the military? And Charlton Zimmerman, thank you. That's an excellent question. Excellent question. VRNE is Veterans Readiness and Employment. It used to be vocational rehab. Essentially, it's a program that the VA has to get your foot in the door with either a trade school um, or higher education in a way that does not hinder your service-connected disabilities or your service-connected status, right? So if say you're in a job right now and for whatever reason your job um, is is giving you a lot of stress and it affects your mental state, and you have something in your disability, your service connected stuff that says PTSD or something like that. Hey, this stuff is for whatever reason, maybe there's loud noises and it's affecting my mental state because of that. Well, hey, you can go and sign up for VR&E, talk to your counselor and say, hey, look, I cannot work in this position anymore. I would like to work in another position. However, I don't have the qualifications to step into that position. VR&E is a program that will get you set up. They will pay for the school. They will pay for the trade school. They will pay for a bachelor's or even a master's degree to get you set up in another position that will set you up for success. So hopefully that answers, but it does mean veterans readiness and employment. GC Jarhead, heavy equipment technician, specializing in mobile motion control, hydraulics, electrical, and electronics. That sounds like some heavy duty stuff, man. How long you been doing that? And what kind of like did you need like education to do that? Like I'm sure you need some training to be able to do that. How'd you get into that position? Let me see. Charlton Zimmerman says, "Oh yes, I had vocational before Navy during and employed in my MOS after electrician master." Man, you guys are making me feel like I don't do anything. This guy's a heavy equipment technician. This other guy's an electrician master. Jason Mack, I was an IT system admin before I got SSDI. All right. Yeah, man. Good stuff. You guys are doing good stuff. Ronan Bruv, man, I want some coffee so bad right now. So get yourself some coffee, man. Come on. What kind of coffee you drinking? Let's see, Jason Mack. I was an electronics radio repairman in the Corps. Right on. GCJR has started in automotive, and we do specialize in railroad equipment and recovery vehicles. Very cool. And you also have an apparel company, right? You still got to share that stuff with me. Ronan Bruv, hey, I don't do anything, just work the front desk at a hotel. Hey, that's all good, man. You get to interact with people, kind of step outside of your office, man. That's awesome. I was a tactical air defense controller. The hell is this shit? Tactical air defense controller, now just a government contractor. Now just a government. Dude, it takes some knowledge to be a government contractor. I'll tell you. Excellent, man. Well, you guys are doing all right. Doing all right. Very good stuff. Um, Curious how many of you all or how many years have you all done in the military, whatever branch you guys have done? I know we got a mix of folks with maybe a one enlistment or maybe 20 years. I don't know if 30 years, 40 years, maybe. I don't know. We got who's this guy? Vlad the Russian G or J9Z. Hi, sir. Hi, sir. Back. Welcome to the channel. The unsung veteran. 20 years for me. That's right. Yes, right. I think we talked, right? We did talk. How unsung veteran? How is the channel going, dude? I think I gave you a sub on here. Let me open up this. I've got so many windows open. I gotta change this up, man. I can't keep track of this trash. Yeah, the unsung veteran. Here we go. I'm on your channel right now, man. I'm gonna check. I'm checking out your channel. See if we know anybody. If I recognize anybody here. Veteran to veteran conversations. I love that, man. That's awesome. Jason Mack, 16 years. Awesome, sir. Right. Charlton, 8 years Navy. All right. Jason Jarhead, 8 years USMC, USMCR. Awesome. Unsung veteran. It's going. Took last week off because I was in DC. This week I have no interviews lined up. So I'm just looking for more vets to talk. Excellent, man. Yeah, it's I find that LinkedIn's a pretty good spot for to get folks for the interviews. Um, I just talked to a buddy of mine who he retired from the Marine Corps. Um, Probably around the same time that I retired, about 2 years ago, and I'm not sure what he was doing after that. Uh, but I've known this guy throughout my younger years in the Marine Corps, and this guy just mentioned that he sold everything. He sold everything. Like he was big into like cars and motorcycles, and he's like he sold everything and moved to Indonesia, to Bali specifically. If you've ever been to Bali, it's a beautiful place. And this guy sold everything, took his family out there, and now they're living an excellent life. I have to assume that it's probably a little less expensive to live out there now than it is in the U.S. Depends on where, though. Some parts are very touristy, like Ubud, things like that. But yeah, I'm trying. I'd like to get him on the show because he did a lot in the Marine Corps, drill instructor, things like that, and then just took his family out to Indonesia. I think he runs a TikTok or YouTube channel, just kind of documenting his life out there. Very cool stuff. But there's a lot of folks that are moving overseas that I've realized. See it on my Facebook sometimes. Hey, we're thinking about going here or there because things are getting kind of expensive in the U.S. Let me see. Wanda W. Banks, welcome. 1221. Welcome. 27 years in the Air Force. That's awesome. Just in VR&E program late last year, but don't have a good case manager. Yeah, that seems to be the issue there. So you started VR&E already, or are you like in the same situation I am, where I got approved for VR&E in August, but have yet to start until this March here in a few weeks. So I'm curious. The wife mainly runs stuff, and we do custom for a bunch of local companies. Awesome. Awesome. You talk about your apparel company. Excuse me. I have a phone interview with a keynote speaker tomorrow. Excellent. That could be a possible guest. Retired lieutenant colonel. It also may record something. Also may record something Thursday. Nice. Yeah, man, it's so great to connect with veterans, man, and hear their story and see what they're doing for the community. That's one of the highlights of my days. I'm thinking about doing live stuff like this, but I need to set some stuff up and figure out what I want to talk about. Yeah, or you can just be like me and just ramble on about random crap. Right? No, it's not crap. It's good info. Good info. But no, it is fun because it's if you kind of leave it open ended a little bit, just kind of put a few topics out there in the title that you want to talk about, it can go any which way. We can talk about VR&E. We can talk about veterans on YouTube. We can talk about Chapter 35 or whatever. I mean, we just got into Congress.gov. We just got into state benefits. So it's fun if you kind of leave it open ended a little bit. I would love to do like a book club with veterans online where we all just kind of get together and just talk about stuff that we read and experiences and stuff like that. That'd be awesome. That would be awesome. Let's see. Wanda, yes, I was already in college, and she suggested Chapter 31 to help me. Yeah, excellent. It is a good program. Like I mentioned, I have yet to start, but the amount of people that I've connected with who have used VR&E, who have started VR&E, who have completed VR&E, uh, it's they all say it's an incredible program, and it's been kind of an uphill battle trying to get started for me, but now that I'm kind of in there, looking forward to it. And I'm trying to put out good information to folks who are maybe having trouble getting started, so that way they can justify what exactly they want to do, um, potentially in a better way. Let's see here. I always like to rebuild equipment over working with people. I don't come up with excuses to work like people do. Yeah, I like that. Just go in there, do what you got to do. I like it. Jason Mack says Vic's reading list. Yeah, I guess we can call it that, right? We got the CMC's reading list. We got the CNO's reading list. Um, I don't know what you call this, the TGL reading list, the Green Logbook reading list, maybe. I don't know. I did put out the video though about what I'm going to be reading this year. I have a list that I curated for 2026. Everything. I don't read a lot of fiction, but I did put one on there. It was, gosh, where's my books? I just put them all up here. 1984, George Orwell. Be reading that one. But there's a whole lot of good books that I have right above my head here on the shelf, and I can't wait to dig into them, man. I spend some time in the evenings reading this one. You can see I have it kind of tabbed out here and there, but spend some time reading this one here. If you have not read Robert Greene, Laws of Human Nature, this is kind of what sparked the idea for me about getting into human behavioral psychology and potentially helping folks out, understanding people better. So, been reading that. Usually read a couple pages every night between that one and another good one I picked up. Kind of interested me. I saw it at the library. It's called Notes on Being a Man. So I believe that there's there. How can I put this? As a father, there are certain things that I want to teach my kids to become useful human beings and good men and good adults when they get older. And sometimes I question things that I see out there, and I have power. I have the power to guide my own kids in a certain way. And if I can do that for them, I will do as much as I can to help them in their journey to become good, useful human beings, good, useful adults, good, useful men. Jarhead 1775. Good to see you, man. The things that entertain vets is a fascinating thing. And I mean anything. It's simple to be distracted easily. Yes, it is. It is. And dude, the amount of times I sit there and I just like, I'm sitting there laughing at things like while I'm in the kitchen, and I'll go present it to my wife. And she looks at me like, the hell is so funny? What's funny about that? And I'm laughing my ass off at it. It's hilarious, man. I think it's the dark humor of things, right? Kind of something that I've acquired during my time in the Marine Corps. I'm laughing now because I'm remembering some dumb crap that I've encountered during my time. Let me see here. Navy Cop says, what would you say? I need to add the green logbook reading list on the site. Should have it done, but got lazy. Well, I appreciate it, man. Thank you. It's I mean, it's not for everybody. It's just my own tastes, things I want to try out, things that I'm curious about that I don't know enough of, things like that. So, I don't want to close myself off. I want to be able to understand different perspectives of things. I think that when we stop learning or understanding, trying to understand other people's perspectives, then we stop growing as humans. If I close myself off to understanding why you dislike something and I like something, then I am limiting myself as a human being. So my not that I need to like everything that the other person is doing or saying. I'm curious. I would like to understand why they think that way, what leads them to that. And there's a part of it that's nature versus nurture. Let's see what else we got here. Closing out some of these windows. If you need this information, if anybody out there needs this information, this is actually chapter 31, right? So the VR&E stuff. So chapter 31. Here's the link to that US code. If you want some light reading on VR&E, this is where you get it from. The purpose, definitions, entitlements, periods of eligibility, scopes, durations, initial extended evaluations, allowances, entitlement, all that stuff is on here, straight to the source. You can watch videos on this stuff all day, but I would say don't take people's word for it. Here is the code that I just put on there on the chat. Uh, do your own research as well. Don't just believe what people are putting out there. It also gives me an idea for a new quick filter, CNO list, senior reading list, green log reading list, etc. Yeah, that's really good. I do enjoy going to look at the commandant's reading list, even after I've retired. There are some excellent leadership books out there, even the CNO list. You know, whenever I'm on a Navy base or at the library, I'll go check something out, and they got some really good books out there. I just picked up. Been wanting to read this one, Endurance, Shackleton's Incredible Voyage. Been wanting to read that one. Picked that one for 75 cents at the bookstore. Good stuff. So, yeah, continue educating yourself, man. I'm always at the bookstore. I'm always at the library. I love connecting with folks. I run into so many people there, veterans all the time at these bookstores. Randomly, I put a picture of him up on the post. Hammer. We always bump into each other at different places. I went to the VA, he was there. I went to the bookstore, he was there. We look at each other like, hey, I know you from somewhere. Yeah, what's going on, man? How you doing? Oh, Hammer. Don't know the guy's real name, just Hammer, and he wears the Vietnam veteran hat. But that's good enough for me. Yeah, so aside from that, let me see, streaming live on the Green Logbook, streaming live on the Military Retirement Podcast. Got a few videos coming up on the Green Logbook that I'm working on editing right now. I got the live stream here. I got the editing right here that I'm working on. So looking forward to putting that out. Just had a active duty major. I just got off an interview with him yesterday. Active duty major in the Marine Corps, and this guy's an artillery officer, a good friend, fellow artist. He's a combat artist. And it's cool. If you've not heard about combat artists, I can't wait to tell you all about it. Essentially, it's a like secondary MOS, military occupational specialty, that you get attached to different commands, different units around the Marine Corps, and you just travel around with them, and you sit back and you're drawing. They're training. You're drawing all the stuff, and that gets submitted to the National Archives. So. And potentially gets put up at like museums and things like that. So very cool thing. and got a chance to talk to this guy for quite some time yesterday. Recorded it, just awesome stuff. Very knowledgeable guy. So um, I'll put up his information. I'll put all of the links to his store and all that stuff on there. Very cool stuff. I think he has some stuff hung up at the Marine Corps Museum right now. So you may have seen some of his work. Charleston Zimmerman says Admiral Rickover was my icon as a Navy engineer. Excellent, dude. Excellent. Ronan Bruff, be right back, folks. It's all right, man. So yeah, good stuff today. We talked a lot about VR&E stuff. I will say it again. If you have not applied for VR&E, Veterans Readiness and Employment, and you rate it, right? I think it's what you have to be at least 10%, possibly 20%. I have to look at it again. And you rate it, and maybe you're not happy your job. Maybe your current job is affecting your service connected issues. VR&E is there for you. They will pay for your education to get into another position, another job, another career field that does not affect your service connected issues. They will pay for your tuition. They will give you a stipend as long as you're going full time, a stipend equal to E5 with dependents, PAH, basic allowance for housing. And if you've already used your GI Bill, at least I'll put it like this: you have to have at least 1 month, 1 day of GI Bill left in order to use VR&E. But if you have exhausted many months of your GI Bill, you do this thing called retroactive induction. Once you get approved for VR&E, you have to apply for it. And essentially what they do is they give you back GI Bill months. So I don't recall exactly how many months they give you back, but I have heard people just getting the entire amount back from your GI Bill. So you could be like, hey, you only have 10 months left of your GI Bill. You apply for retroactive induction. They give you back your full 36 months. And you just use VR&E. And then you have a whole set of new GI Bill months you can use on the back end. So don't sleep on that, folks. VR&E is an excellent, excellent benefit. They also have a technology package. You have to talk to your counselor about this. But when I started my VR&E, my counselor asked me, hey, do you need a laptop? I said, sure. Yeah, I could use mine's kind of old. I'll use a laptop. He said, yeah. You want like an Acer or a MacBook? I'm like, yeah, I'll take a MacBook. So I don't get it until I actually start classes next month. But what a benefit, and a printer, and potentially, if you need one, a desk, a seat, all that stuff, anything you need, if you can justify it, anything you need in order for you to succeed in your new career field that you're going to school for. So please, ladies and gentlemen, do not sleep on VR&E. I firmly believe that if you do not use this benefit, we will lose this benefit. And, that's just my feeling. Nothing's in writing, nothing saying that it's going to go away or anything like that. Just my feeling. But yeah, VR&E, Chapter 35, talked a little bit about Chapter 35. Great benefit for your dependents. We just understand that once you get your dependent, your child dependent, not your spouse, once that child dependent starts using Chapter 35, they will come off of your VA disability payment. So just understand that. I made a whole video on this thing. People were calling me out on the video saying, what is this? No, that's not right. Absolutely, it's right. And I'll tell you why, because I backed it up with references in the description. You can read it straight from the reference. So check that out if you have time. It's all on my channel. Talked a little bit about veterans on YouTube. I firmly believe that veterans have a story to tell. A lot of them do. Doesn't matter if you're admin, doesn't matter if you're logistics, doesn't matter if you were infantry, special operations, whatever. Hey, you've learned some things, you've been through some things. You have information to pay it forward that can assist another veteran. Utilize these platforms to do so. You don't have to show your face. It could be a podcast, it could be a YouTube channel, whatever the case may be. But we have acquired so much information. Pay it forward to the veteran community. Going real quick to the comments. At least 20% with employment handicap and at least 10% with a serious employment handicap. Yes, I appreciate you, Wanda, clarifying that. Question was, can my local VSO help me with VR&E, or is there someone at the VA that can help me? Excuse me. I don't know that your local VSO can help you with that. So VR&E counselors are a specific type of counselor that you get with. Your VSO could potentially assist you with like justification, things like that. Um, However, yeah, the VR&E is a specific type of counselor. So I would ask your local VSO to see if they work with that. Oh my god, the fuck? Yeah, let's take that off. Yeah, I would ask your VSO to see if they can assist you with VR&E. I've not heard of it, but potentially they can. So the way I understand that the VR&E works is you have an initial counseling with a like a top level VR&E counselor, and or just an introductory counseling, and then they set you up with another counselor. They say, "Hey, stand by. You're going to get potential email or a call or a connection with your actual VR&E counselor, and they'll email you." At least I received an email with the introduction and what my plan was, etc. So that's how it all started. Yeah, the Combat Artist Program is something I definitely want to link up on the site. We'll do some follow-up research as well. Yeah, yeah, it's a great program. It is. I applied for the program when I was at my 18-year mark in the Marine Corps, and I didn't make the cut. I didn't make the cut. Maybe I submitted the wrong stuff. I actually think I did submit the wrong stuff. They were looking for a certain type of art. I didn't submit that type of art that I'd done, so didn't make the cut. But whatever. It is a great program nonetheless. Excellent stuff. Yeah, another suggestion, your local college might have a representative, or some military bases have a veterans representative that may help. Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, there's some videos out there on YouTube that talk a little bit about it. I made one just a little while ago that talked all about it. Here, I'll actually pull it up on here. I know Ronan and I talked a little bit about it. Where is it? Here we go. Channel, videos. Let's share this here. Share screen. Yeah, so this is my channel here, and then the video would be this guy right here. Middle here, now it's top right, top left, excuse me. Get approved for VR&E college degrees. How to get approved. So hopefully that can help you out in your mission to go toward your VR&E. And yes, yeah, Wanda says yes, VSOs can help file the application. Excellent. So there, we have some answers. We're assisting each other. I love this. Collaboration. Excellent. Give me 1 second. I need to go grab something from the front door here. All right. All right. Back at it. All right. So yeah, that video, get approved for VR&E college degrees. I'll link it here in the chat in the comments. Um, Here you go. Get approved for VR&E video for anybody who just wants some information on potentially getting approved for this. Just kind of a little push forward, a little assistance on this. Wanda, I appreciate you stopping by. Thanks. You're welcome to come by anytime. And thank you for your input as well. Fishing assignments. Have a blessed day. You do the same. With that, I love the live streams. However, staring at a screen for more than 2 hours makes me feel like my eyes are going to start bleeding. So, and not like a goat or a sheep. I mean, like the liquid. So, with that, please reach out to me. If you have my email, please reach out to me if you have any questions, comments, concerns, or anything like that. GC Jarhead, please shoot me an email with get a hold of me with the apparel company stuff. I do have a website if you want to get a hold of me here. It's the green log. I'll put it here, thegreenlogbook.com. Pretty easy, right? I try to make it Barney style. Thegreenlogbook.com. There's like a comment section on there or a contact section. You can get a hold of me directly on that thing. I check it mostly every day. And, we can get to talking. We can get to talking about whatever you got going on, or if potentially you know somebody who would be a good guest to have on a live stream or the podcast. Please let me know. I would love to connect with some more veterans or veteran forward, veteran run nonprofits, things like that. I'm always, I'm always down to talk to some folks. So with that, I know you all are tired of hearing me. Thank you all for stopping by. And this has been the Green Logbook. Until next time, out here. Oh, hold on. Let me set that thing up here. There we go. Now, this has been the Green Logbook. Out here.